Hello, hello, hello. Let me get my thing set up here. Oh, hey, cool, it's already there. Awesome. Give me 1 second here to resize my window. There we go. Okay. How are we doing today? Just gotta finish getting some stuff set up here. Alright, so I hope everybody's doing alright. Today we're going to be going over a few things. One of the main ones is we're going to be going over the high guard stuff, as you can see here, that I've already got pulled up. But so there's a whole lot of there's a bunch of stuff going on today in the world of games. This one seems to be rather hot button. Also, one of the things that happened recently is the state of play that Sony put on. I've got an icon here that I'm not familiar with. Okay. I've got some settings that I'm trying to click through and fix because I thought I had turned all the noise notification or the noisy notifications off on other things. I do apologize. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go with this then. Okay. I apologize, I thought I had stuff more sorted out than I did. Alright. So I just gotta come up with a fancy schmancy oh jeez. Alright, gotta come up with a intro here. I do apologize, I am so out of sorts. I did not get nearly as much stuff done today as I had planned. Alright. Okay. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. The developers of Highguard say that they don't need player counts to be successful. as you can tell by this tweet here. This is obviously we don't need player counts to be a huge success. But as we're going to find out, they actually do, in fact, need player counts to be successful. All right, so here we have and also the PC Gamer is rather involved in this as well. I believe the PC Gamer to be mildly compromised as a reliable source of gaming information, because they are also backing this Highguard didn't flop campaign. But as you see here, they actually got community noted on Twitter. So we know that obviously you can buy publicity on Twitter and with magazines, and they'll print whatever story you want. And here's the actual tweet. They actually have two sources here, one of them actually being the SteamDB info here. And we're going to click on this here and see what's up with the SteamDB on this game, once it verifies I'm not a robot. And here we have, it looks like it actually, there's some mild progress here, and they only have about 2,000 players on here, but they peaked at almost 100,000 players. And it only rated a 45%. And here you see the overall players here, down here at the bottom. And then you have the other statistics on this game as well. So clearly the game is not doing well when they peaked at almost 100,000 players a little over 2 weeks ago. And right now they're at way less than that, at only barely 2,000, over 2,000. So as you can see, they are paying for publicity. And we're going to actually take a look at the article that they posted as well. It is surprising to hear how expectant the Highguard studio was before launch. Despite running no public play tests, the mood ahead of the Game Awards reveal was that the competitive shooter would likely be a major hit, according to former employee of the now diminished studio. Now, however, I called this in some of my Twitter posts earlier this week that they do actually, in fact, need player bases or players to actually, be good, and that the game was a huge flop, and that they actually released the game in a beta form rather than the full-on polished game that it should have been, especially when one of their fixes was initially meant to be a temporary thing when it went from 3v3 to 5v5 matches. And now the 5v5 is now like the standard play format, especially in those huge maps that are to scale probably the size of Switzerland or bigger, and you only have 10 people in a map. So huge maps and small player counts in each game is not great. It is not any particular feature of Highguard that makes me think this confidence was misplaced. It's just the fact that most new shooters aren't massive hits. Actually, I would disagree. A lot of shooters are really big hits. This one flopped because it was not in a polished format. Even Fortnite, the model for the modern FPS live service mega hit, was shrugged off by the public before Epic's famous pivot to Battle Royale. Most have not been so lucky, and it hasn't mattered how successful they've previously been or even how good anyone thinks their game is. Remember, Gears of War designer Cliff Bleszinski's Lawbreakers? I thought it was fun. It wasn't a hit, and neither was Bleszinski's also fun Battle Royale pivot attempt. Radical Heights. That studio's long gone. As pointlessly rabid as the social media response to Highguard has been, I don't think the internet's recreational cruelty is to blame for the modest player base. I don't think any deep analysis at all is required to understand why Highguard isn't a huge hit. It's a decent game. Morgan gave it a 65% in his review. But even if it had been a great game, it wouldn't necessarily have blown up like Arc Raiders, because most games don't. They gave it a 65%, which is barely mid. It's just meh. It's an okay game. It's not even that good. It's passable at best. So even their own reviewer thought it was largely not great. So you can't call it good if your own rater called it not great. Cool new shooters of every variety release every year. And the default state for all of them, no matter how good they are or how much money was spent to develop them, is not millions of players. Here are some examples. And StarCraft, it's not a shooter, it's like a Command and Conquer style game. Echo Point Vista, another competitor for the best FPS at all time peak. Oh, that's Straftat. Sorry, I thought it looked like StarCraft to me. Sorry, that's my fault. Strafstat, one of their favorite games of 2024, peak Steam concurrence was 2200. And then Echo Point Nova was 1100. Mycopunk, a recent co-op shooter, Steam concurrence 2800. Enlisted, interesting sounding free-to-play shooter, 7500. Frag Punk, a 5v5 hero shooter, 113,000, nearly 114,000 players at peak, and is now just hovering at around 2,000. Quake Champions, an honest attempt to bring Quake into the modern era, all-time Steam concurrence was 17,000. Yes, it peaked at 113, which is still better than what Highguard peaked at. The couple thousand concurrent Steam players Highguard has right now puts it in league with those games. Difference is those games are older now, and people weren't as it probably... I'm trying to figure out a good way to phrase this, but people aren't necessarily willing to accept just kind of crap games. Back then, the technology couldn't keep up with what people wanted, so we were at a restriction in that aspect. And here, that restriction is not nearly as prevalent, and so we don't have to worry about that. We just have to worry about people creating good games. And while I agree that shooters by and large are not super popular when they first come out necessarily, you can still put out a good game. And from all the things that I have seen and previews and gameplay that I've seen of this game, even the release wasn't that great. Like the graphics were iffy. There were a lot of render issues and collision issues. The maps were absolutely massive, and you could only have 6 people in a game totals, 3v3, which would restrict the amount of actual shooting that you can do in a shooting game. And then the attempts that they made to try to fix all of that was too little, way too late, and they basically released the game in a beta test format rather than what I would consider to be a polished and finished game that should have been released. The couple of thousand concurrent Steam players Highguard has right now puts it in league with those games, and why would it be in a different league? Because the developers worked on Apex Legends. Ubisoft's X-Defiant was led by Mark Rubin, whose credits include Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, games that defined many of the elements still seen in modern shooters. I liked it. It didn't last long. Yeah, but those are shooters that were good. They were excellent on release. And those are the kind of shooters that people want to play. They don't want to play the huge map nonsense. People just aren't as into the battle royale thing as they used to be. By and large, I would imagine. I mean, I've seen some of the amount of people that are playing Fortnite, and while it still has a huge following, and that's because a lot of the gamers that play it at this point, because it's been out so long, have essentially grown up playing it, so they stick to it because it's still a game that they know and they've grown up playing. That's why that game is still huge. Rocket Arena, the shooter EA launched in 2020 and took off sale in 2023. Why would they not remember Rocket Arena? A lot of people remember it. But the studio behind it was founded by a top designer on Halo 4 and 5. Also, massive shooters that were super popular that when they came out. So if you have all of these people that were involved in Highguard, why did they release such a crap game? That shouldn't have happened. The Rocket Arena studio, Final Strike, is still around though. It worked on Fortnite's OG season, and now it apparently has a new tactical shooter in development. There are other studios like it. Diabolical, an Epic exclusive arena shooter with origins in the pro Quake scene, didn't really break into the mainstream, but GD Studio has gone on to release roguelike spin-off on Steam. Keeping a studio going and perhaps one day iterating your way to hit territory may be the only kind of success it's reasonable to shoot for. Almost half of the games released on Steam last year received fewer than 10 user reviews. Highguard has done quite well by comparison. It's only a flop next to the very rare games that are immediately massive hits. I would say that a lot of games are massive hits, and it's actually the flops that are rare. Alas, despite telling us just before launch that Highguard didn't need super huge player counts to succeed, the studio was clearly betting on being one of those exceptional games. Because a normal launch wasn't enough to keep most of its staff employed. I hope they all land on their feet. Well, actually, about that, and we're going to see this in the next article, but a mass majority of the developers that created this game are actually getting fired because they created such a garbage game. You see here, most of the Highguard studio has been laid off. If they didn't need player counts and a good release, then their players wouldn't be fired. Layoffs have hit the development studio Wildlight Entertainment, makers of the recently released multiplayer shooter Highguard. This comes just over 2 weeks after free-to-play game's January 26 launch. Former senior-level designer Alex Granner posted on LinkedIn, "Unfortunately, along with most of the team at Wildlight, I was laid off today. While the number of people who were laid off has not currently been confirmed, the studio's LinkedIn page states that its size was 51 to 200 employees. That's a huge range. Wildlight's official Twitter account confirmed the layoffs with a statement reading, "Today we made an incredibly difficult decision to part ways with a number of our team members while keeping a core group of developers to continue innovating on and supporting the game." Why would they continue to support the game? They know it's garbage. They released it as such. And at this point, they're just refusing to let it die. And I think that they should just move on to the next project. You know, patch it here and there as issues come up. But by and large, I think they should move on to something else. Leave the failures on the floor, so to speak, and try to actually finish a game before they release it. On Blue Sky, Matt Piscatella from Circania, which tracks game sales and engagement, highlighted Highguard debuted in the top 10 in weekly active users on US Steam, was top 20 on both US PlayStation and Xbox, and yet according to SteamDB, Highguard reached a peak concurrent player count of 97,000 on PC via Steam on release day, and experienced a sharp decline with only 4,500 players 2 weeks after launch. So that should tell you that even though they said the game was going to be great, it lost almost all of its players in 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, they actually released patches to try to retain some of those people that were leaving or try to tease back the players that had left. And while they did see a little bit of a spike at the time, the spike quickly nosedived again when they realized that what they didn't actually fix the game to an acceptable level. Granner also said, this one really stings as there was a lot of unreleased content, and I was really looking forward to that, and I and the others designed for Highguard. Well, if you designed a whole bunch of stuff, maybe if you'd have put it in the game, then people wouldn't have left as quickly. While it initially had 3v3 competitive mode, which was trash, a 5v5 mode was implemented just days after release due to player reception to the small scale of the original mode. What was the small scale of the players in each game and the massive size of the maps? That was that combination that forced people to leave. The team revealed a content roadmap on launch day that included updates with new items, modes, and characters, each month throughout the year packed into 7 separate episodes. It's unclear how the layoffs will affect the studio's plans as of now, but Wildlight says it'll continue to support the game. And they add here that the story is ongoing. I don't know why they would. There's no need. This game is all but dead at this point, and I think they should just drop it and move on to something more successful, or that could be more successful. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Look forward to more video game updates in the near future. Later, y'all. Bye. All right. A nice little short one out of the way. I will admit I did not get nearly as much of the news stuff that I wanted pulled up. And I'm even using the wrong browser. Alright, so let me change the source here. Okay, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Alright, this is the next thing I was thinking about looking at here. Was the state of play. There's also some other generic updates as well that I was thinking about going over. I just got to figure out where to start. And actually, we'll come back to those videos here in a second. In the meantime, come on. There we go. My OBS is misbehaving. Something crazy. Okay, so these are so today there have been 4 games that were dropped. One being Clue, Murder by Death, High Life 2, Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, and Reanimal. And then we've got some of these other ones. Let me open these up in other tabs, and then we'll go over these that are coming out over the weekend. Actually, we might be able to go all the way to the 18th. Okay. I can't believe that there were no updates for that. But it seems Steam has a thing on it. And it is currently on sale for $17.99. If you guys are interested, this is your kind of game. Okay, what's going on here? Oh. So this is a promo for Clue, Murder by Death. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it just looks like Clue, but it's like 3D, so if that's your thing, check it out. Alright. High on Life. So this is a continuation over the first one. We've got like these crazy weapons that talk to you and make you feel like you're going crazy. Alright, let's see. Alright, so these are some of the additions that they put on here. Apparently now you can do skateboarding in here as a mode of travel as well. You can buy it for $60. It's also available on PlayStation as well as Steam. It had a huge Game Pass release in 2022, which was beaten by Power World and then Expedition 33. High on Life 2 is like the first game, or like the first games developed by Squanch Games. However, a big change for the sequel is that Ricky and Morty creator Justin Roiland is not involved. So he's out, following all of the controversies that were around him. So everything that's been going on with him recently, either they forced him out or he quit. But either way, he is no longer a part of the development of this second game. One of the elements in the sequel is skateboarding. Chief Design Officer Eric Meyer said in an interview with Xbox that the team considered a skateboarding element for the first game, but it wasn't possible given development timelines. And see, and this is another first-person shooter that, from my understanding, released really, really well. Good ideas tend to haunt us forever. When we were brainstorming on High Life 2, the idea scuttled its way into our collective unconscious. And we thought it would be even better as a normal skateboard to help ground your character as an Earthling. That's a weird component to put into a game to add depth to your character as a human. High on Life 2 also brings back the first game's trademark and specific brand of humor, which would be raunchy and dirty. And if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, you'll be right at home, says the article. And so because of that, sense of humor, it won't be for everybody. But yeah, so that game's out today as well. And there is Rayman 30th edition, 30th anniversary edition, which I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it'd been that long since the game came out, to be honest. It just makes me feel old. And with everything going on with Ubisoft lately, I'm surprised that they managed to get it out in any kind of a time to, or any kind of a timeline, considering everything that's been going on with them, with Ubisoft. And if it's on Steam, it might actually be worth the looking into, honestly. And there's also a physical copy for the Game Boy. So like the OG Game Boy looks like, at least based on this photo. Oh, they ported it to Game Boy Color. So if y'all old folks like me still have their Game Boy Color, you can pick up the physical copy and play it on that. But one of my siblings has my Game Boy, so I can't. Yeah, that Rayman is out today. And then there's this game called Reanimal, which I'm not familiar with. And I would very much like to see if I can find a preview of it. But this looks amazing, just from these photos. Okay, so let's hope this review has anything. So they rated it great. And the two bad things they had is it doesn't feel like a full story. And the puzzles are pretty easy. Okay, so it just looks cool, but it doesn't look like... I really want a video of this. That's what I want. I want to see... Oh, videos. Here we go. Alright, let's check out the video.
We're running through an abandoned room with a wheel we need to attach to a car outside in order to escape.
This game looks creepy.
My co-op partner and I scream in unison as hollow, slimy ex-human skins slither quickly after us.
That is
One
so
snap
creepy,
at our
dude.
ankles, and we will be dead, forced to restart the encounter.
Honestly, graphically, this game looks pretty cool, I think.
The respawn points are very forgiving, and there's nothing at risk here. But somehow, these eerie undead creatures have my heart racing and my palms sweating.
So this game is more for the story rather than the challenging
however,
gameplay. So it's more for the story.
Retarsier Studios face criticism.
But if the game
distorted
doesn't feel
imagery
complete story-wise,
original
then it
Little
might be a
Nightmares
problem.
game in its 2021 sequel, the developer has returned to its most outlandish in Reanimal. The gut-wrenching feeling of discovering a giant, mutated beast of an animal is strangely comforting in a nostalgic way, meaning that not only does Reanimal live up to the legacy of Little Nightmares, it surpasses it.
It's really dark.
Despite its haunting and unsettling atmosphere,
Based on the
thoroughly
colors and
enjoyable.
stuff.
I find great delight in dragging my co-op partner toward what appears to be a dead end, only to find a narrow crack in the brickwork that we can squeeze through to uncover collectibles or other secrets. I'm not usually one to seek trophies or achievements, but Reanimal makes me want to uncover every corner of its sordid
Oh,
environment just to
I'm a
observe
horrible
more of its
loot
world.
goblin. I have to explore
Reanimal
everything
places you
all the
in
time.
shoes of orphan siblings trying to rescue some missing friends. As the game is the brainchild of former Little Nightmares creators, I already know to expect fragmented storytelling, uncovering lore as we go through the haunting experience, each secret adding more layers to the siblings' narrative.
Oh, so this is
leads
more of
to
a show
plenty
don't
of
tell.
theorizing between
So
my
that's
companion
pretty
and I
cool.
as we progress through the game, most of which turns out to be hilariously incorrect. The reality is far, far darker than we could have anticipated from the game's humble beginnings, in which you find yourself in a boat, alone, and forced to drag your sister from the depths of the water. From that moment on, straying too far from one another will lead to death. For that reason, the game is played from a single camera perspective, putting emphasis on the need to stick together, work as a team,
That's
and,
weird.
the thing we found the most difficult, agree on how many of the game's multiple secret doors, passageways, and collectibles you
I'm not
want
a-
to uncover. This is
I mean,
just
this game looks
one
like it
of
might
the
be pretty
ways
cool, but I don't
Reanimal
like these like
fosters
forced
tension
co-op with a
between
bot
partners
kind of
and
games.
the game itself.
Personally,
The orphan
but I think it might
siblings
be
must
okay.
locate and rescue their 3 abandoned friends by exploring a series of islands via boat and on foot traversal. It's never explicitly stated how the friends came to be lost, and Tarsier Studios maintains the suspense by refusing to elaborate on it further. Instead, the narrative style forces us to come to our own conclusions, and that's one of my favorite aspects of the game. Symbolism, metaphors, and implications all lead to the probability that different players will settle on varying stories they consider canon in the siblings' world. Reanimal's strongest points are its harrowing world building and
Can't believe my
profound
tags
sense
were
of
wrong.
artistry. Each set piece is adorned with grotesque creatures and emphasized by a muted gray color palette that adds to the all-encompassing, hostile atmosphere. When color is utilized, it's almost exclusively an alarming crimson red, whether that's to signal a direction to travel in or to alert you of danger. The more prevalent the red is, the more intense the warning is. It's executed near flawlessly throughout, especially when coming face to face with the game's concluding boss. There are moments of respite after successfully rescuing another orphan child. We're granted a brief glimpse of hope that everything will
bus
be
stop
okay
is
in
a
the end if we can just escape this
save
nightmare
point?
series of islands. But for the most part, Reanimal thrives in its unrelenting intensity. For example, even in the quiet moments where we're not being stalked by monsters, hunted down by an ice cream vendor with a vindictive vendetta, or sniped from a clock tower, there's a sense that something is always watching you. It doesn't matter if you're navigating a tight
That's
sewer
creepy.
pipe or stealthily creeping across a vast open field. The world of Reanimal is truly sinister. Part of that is due to the visuals, but it's largely down to the stunning sound design.
Well, they were going for creepy. They nailed it with the
One ear,
sound.
I can hear the slow drip of a nearby leaking pipe, and in the other, I hear breathing or footsteps that are so brief I almost feel I've imagined them. It's the combination of these factors and the fact that Reanimal doesn't rely on cheap jump scares to build its atmosphere that explains why I'm so on edge for the entire duration of our playthrough. There's a constant sense of impending doom that nestles itself in my gut and only intensifies with each reveal. When you dig into the intricacies of the game's narrative and what it truly means, it's even more unsettling.
That looks like a scene out of
deals
Saw.
with more mature themes than Little Nightmares did, so casual horror fans might find it overwhelming. Whereas Little Nightmares focused on the perspective of children and how they view the world, Reanimal centers on childhood trauma, and how revisiting that trauma can often feel more monstrous and debilitating than the original experience. It's more personal, raw, and closer to psychological horror than Little Nightmares' surreal allegory. However, the
They do look
similarities of
really
Little
similar,
Nightmares
though.
exist more obviously in the gameplay. The siblings need to escape an island that should feel like home, but instead feels terribly hostile. To do so, they need to work together to successfully maneuver stealth sections, figure out puzzles, and take on enemies. The addition of weapons in the form of a knife and a crowbar later in the game that are used to take out threats as well as open impassable pathways is a welcome touch. It makes me feel like I have more control over the gameplay rather than being the controller of a visual novel. There are doorways that resemble artwork from the original Little Nightmares games, and wearable mask collectibles that mirror the same system Little Nightmares used. The puzzles are of similar complexity, although I find myself wishing they were a little more challenging. There are only 2 moments where we spent more than a few seconds figuring out the correct action to take to progress further. If there were
Well,
more
sometimes
of these, it would have led
not
to a
everything
higher
has
sense
to be a
of accomplishment
complicated puzzle.
on the
Sometimes it's just meant to
Sometimes
be
you
a
do
mechanic
need those
to get you
challenging
through the
moments to
game.
take a breather following a tense chase scene or a jump scare that makes your heart race. While Reanimal only clocks in at around 5 to 7 hours of gameplay, we intended to complete the game in 2 parts. As busy parents with hectic schedules, bite-sized gaming experiences suit us best. But we found ourselves powering through it in one sitting thanks to Reanimal's expert ability to make you feel like the conclusion is just around the corner. Whether you're taking down an enemy, figuring out
that's
the
nice.
puzzle to clear a pathway, or seeing the reveal of the game's final boss as it mutates and distorts through flashback cinematics, we found ourselves uttering just one more chapter repeatedly until the credits rolled. And while we played local co-op, you can also play online. However, it's worth mentioning that crossplay isn't available at launch, and it's not clear whether this will be added later on. While this game does come with a friend's pass, meaning the person you play with doesn't need to own a copy of the game themselves,
That's pretty
Reanimal
neat.
will also fill the empty slots with an AI companion if you can't find it.
That's a nice touch where you can play with somebody who doesn't have the game. I think that's pretty cool.
A willing participant. Seeing Reanimal through in one sitting made me feel like I'd accompanied the siblings on their journey, holding their tiny, innocent hands as they uncovered horrors beyond comprehension. The conclusion of Reanimal leaves the door open for further explanation, so the incoming DLC for the game has me genuinely excited. Unfortunately, I'm still left with a bunch of questions, and with no release date for the DLC, I'm in a state of purgatory. The imagery and implications linger in my mind much like the siblings' nightmares. While Reanimal
so
is
proper
certainly
cliffhanger.
unsettling, it's also
So the cons we saw
it shines a
was
light
just
on
a
the
proper
importance of
proper
companionship. While you
cliffhanger for
may
the
face
upcoming
moments of
DLC.
uncertainty and unsafety, you're not alone, and that is invaluable.
Okay, cool. So if you like short little games, or like your games in short bursts, this might be the game for you as well. Alright, so there's nothing on Double Dungeon. So we'll search for it ourselves. Alright, so it's a roguelike, but this looks more like a turn-based strategy RPG thing, which I guess technically is roguelike. But, alright, well, we'll watch the trailer, see what's up. Just looks like a board game. Or like a D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons, but in video game form. I don't know, it doesn't look like my kind of thing personally. So there's that. Let's check out these images again. So if this like dice game style is your thing, check it out. Not really my thing personally. Forgotlings. Alright, so this one comes out on the 17th. Let me unmute the tab.
In a forgotten world, one tale was foretold.
Well, let's see what the game actually looks like. Stop showing the cinematics.
Hero from afar, awakened from a shooting star.
Where am I?
The question
It looked like an AI freaking Pinocchio.
He will embark on an epic odyssey
It looks so weird.
to prevent an ancient prophecy.
A creature will gobble up the world and cover it in darkness.
Maker has forsaken us.
Abandoned objects built these realms,
Looks like a psychotic brave little toaster turned into a video game.
now divided amongst themselves.
We're all forgotlings.
Standing proud on a ship he commands,
We travel all across the realm.
for only he can unite the forgotten lands.
We have to be able to look beyond our differences.
Faye, I'll join you.
Oftentimes, prophecies wither and die,
If you do this, the world will end.
but this story will now arrive.
Game looks weird, dude. I don't know. I don't know about this game. Gameplay's probably alright. There's not a lot of photos, and there's only one trailer. I don't think they expect a lot of playtime because there's not a lot about it. They don't have a lot of media surrounding it. They got like a half dozen photos and like a 2-minute video. Anyway, that's the Forgotlings. Why do none of these have any media about them? Like no articles, no nothing. Alright, let's unmute this. This one might be a little weird. This one comes out on the 18th. Minherarium. Okay, so this is a deck building roguelike. And it looks like if you lose the game, she murders you to death.
メンヘラリウム。こうやってサイコロを振って私より強い役を出せば。
And apparently it's in Japanese.
あ、ごめん。このゲームの参加料はあなたのうち。よくできました。わー。
Dude, she treats you like a juice box.
ゲームで貯めたポイントで。やっと起きたね。まず私がサイコロを振って。このゲームの参加料は。振っちゃうよ。あなたのうち。あなたのいいとこ分けてあげる。見せて。
I mean, look at this. This hose is full of your blood. And so she's got an IV needle in your arm and she just drinks from you like you're a Welch's juice box. That game's weird. Okay, that game's just too weird. Alright, let's check out this strange brew. Apparently there's a show called Strange Brew, so you have to specify the game. Alright, this game looks like it's going to be weird as well, given these character designs. Look like a psychotic duck.
Everything is under control. You have nothing to worry about. Yet still, brainless monstrosities are savaging our streets.
This is just weird.
Run
And you run on coffee?
still, if you must. You are about to save history, whether you like it or not.
So weird, dude. It's like that Alien game, but this time you're a psychotic duck creature. Chased by zombies. I don't know. It's a cinematic platformer. If this game's your kind of stuff, you know, check it out. Okay. And the last one is The Killing Stone. Again, you have to specify game. So it's coming soon to early access, and I bet that this is what that February 18th release date is the early access and not the actual full release. All right, let's check out the pictures. It looks like a... Alright, let's just check it out.
I must ask one last favor.
Marikin made a bargain with a thing that would see all walls torn down. One of the mothers below.
9 souls were promised, mind you. Not all at once.
Here is the table. And here the game. Should you, by this ritual trial, prove yourself the one chosen by the rich, then like that box, I and all the world will open to you.
This looks like a card game, and you use the cards to... It looks like a medieval Yu-Gi-Oh!
Card family stands at hazard now, and the house means to collect.
I am your friend, for is this not a friendly game?
Go to them, Maven. Seek out my kinsmen in their exile, and win back their sorry souls.
Ask yourself this. Have you the skill? Have you the will to beat the devil?
It's an intriguing trailer, to be sure. It's definitely an interesting trailer. I might download the demo and play it just to see what's up. Honestly, I think it might be fun. Check out. Okay. So those are all the games coming out up to the 18th. Up to and including the 18th. Alright, I am going to grab a drink. So I'm going to take a little break. And then I'll come back shortly after, and then we'll continue on. Maybe we'll do some more game updates. Maybe I'll just jump into the games. I will, because honestly, I'm not feeling all that hot, but I owe you guys a Friday stream. So, like I said, I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll come back and then we'll continue on. Be right back, guys. Enjoy the music. Okay. We are back. All right. There we go. Okay. Things are just lagging behind a bit. Okay. You know what? Actually, I think we'll go over and check out the state of play video. But we're not going to do the big hour-long one because that's just too long. All right. Let's see here. Question is, which one do we do? Because there's two of them. All right, let's see. I guess we'll probably do this one because it's shorter, I think. All right. Now I just gotta come up with a thing. Okay, it should be playing. It is not playing. Oh, come on. All right. Will it play now? Maybe. All right, there we go. Okay, I got that where I need it. Now I just got to switch the thing here. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, we got that up and working here. All right. Okay. Grab a drink of water before we start. Oh. Okay. And this was, I believe this was IGN's video. Okay. Welcome, Internet. Today we're going to be going over everything that was announced at the PlayStation State of Play that happened earlier this month. At the time of recording, I believe it was just yesterday or the day before that they actually did the State of Play, and we're going to be reacting to IGN's video where they go over everything that was announced at the event. So let's strap in and check it out and see what's up. And I'll put a link to the original video in the description, so that way you guys can find it and you can watch all of their stuff as well, because they'll have more stuff on the State of Play as well. Alright, so Kena Scars of Cosmora on 2026, that's going to be coming out later this year. Once I figure out when the dates are specifically, I will probably post them on X, like I usually do with the games that came out in January, and so far the games that have come out up to this point in February, which I'll also be writing a second article on X for that as well, so be sure to check that out and look forward to your games that you're looking for, so that way you can check out the games that you're looking forward to that are releasing this year and later this month specifically. And I think this is just a video that's just showing gameplay and not really talking about what's actually there. So Ghosts of Yote Legends is coming out again with a expansion or a DLC. We all know how well the original Ghosts of Yote was, so probably expect more of the same about that. That was, as you saw, that was a free DLC for Ghosts of Yote. Death Stranding 2 is coming to Steam. And we got some more Martian killing and space exploration here. And I didn't see what game this was. Okay, I'm really confused because I'm not seeing any of the gameplay, so I don't think this is actually all that great of a video, so I'm going to stop it here and we'll start with the other one instead. Okay, so this one was absolutely terrible. Give me 1 second. Alright, so maybe we'll do the other one instead from GameRanks.
Hey folks, today is Friday, February 13th, 2026. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino here. Excuse me, but this is going to be a big, long rundown of stuff. But a lot of updates on existing games, but a lot of new games.
Alright, I just won't make a video of it because I botched it so hard.
From Pragmata, we got a new look at Saros. They show some progression.
Alright.
A little bit more.
Pragmata, they had a demo out not too long ago, which I thought was pretty... It was a pretty interesting demo, actually. I rather enjoyed playing it and watching other people play it as well.
Also a new trailer for Resident Evil 9 that confirms some fan theories, and I would say don't watch this if you just want to be surprised with the game, because this trailer shows a lot more. Also,
Oh yeah, Leon's back.
Bond 007 First Light, which also shows a lot more of the game and aspects of the game we haven't seen.
Another James Bond. He looks younger in this one.
Pretty surprised to see Legacy of Kain return. Sony announced Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered, which comes hot off the heels of the remake of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 from a few years back, which I think they did a great job with. This is a remaster of what was essentially the final big game
Whoa.
of the franchise. Along with that, they kind of shadow announced, not at this presentation, but a whole new Legacy of Kain game called Legacy of Kain Ascendance. This is like a 2D style game. Looks like it's got some animation styles in it and tells like a story in the canon with Kain and Raziel. I'm not sure what to make of this one yet. I hope they don't half-ass it, but it
I'm not really good at reaction videos, honestly.
This time, maybe they're testing the waters for more.
I think I'd be better off just like reading articles and stuff like that.
This is coming in 2027. This is a studio apparently that's some Tenchu people, and this is like top-down
Ooh.
Tenchu strategy stuff.
Ooh.
But it looks really awesome. We also got a new updated
I might
version
like
of
that
Dead or
game.
Alive 6 called Dead or Alive 6 Last Round.
Dude, it's been so long since there was a Dead or Alive 6 game. Honestly, I used to love this game.
New Dead or Alive project. It's not too much more than that. Also, we got a full-on look at Control Resonant game, and it looks awesome. Melee combat does look like it's shaping up to be pretty cool, even if it's a departure from
That's
Control
weird.
1.
That is so weird.
The camera is a little bit more pulled back, but we also got to see like weird imagery and like cool blood and strange monsters, like the stuff we want from a Remedy game, as well as Gravity Rush style game mechanics where you're flipping around the world and kind of manipulating gravity. Really cool. Also, check out Crimson.
That is pretty creepy. Or not creepy, but cool.
Co-op
This is creepy.
RPG from smaller developers, probably Monsters. We also got new gameplay for Beast of Reincarnation, more like Beast of what incarnation? Sorry. August 4th of this year. Also, shout out to Rayman getting a little love in this presentation. So it's Rayman 30th
And that was what we were talking about earlier. I was surprised that Ubisoft actually managed to get this game out, to be honest.
Preservation and do a really good job of packaging up full games with fun goodies. This is going to be no slouch. Looks at old making ofs of the game, a documentary, as well as this long lost playable prototype will be accessible in the game. That's pretty sweet. Apparently it's out now digitally, and if you want to buy a physical version, it's out this summer. If you played the indie game from Devolver Digital, Neva, about the woman with like the cool wolf, very artsy, very cool. I actually really liked it. We're getting a new one that's like a prologue, which is called Neva Prologue. We got a new
Huh.
Arena the
I've never heard of that one.
Yacht Club game, people. If you like Shovel Knight, this is looking to be pretty awesome. They've been working on this for a while.
Oh, that looks retro as hell. That's cool.
Also, check out Project Windless. This looks crazy. This looks like a mix between a Black Myth Wukong-like and maybe a bit of a Dynasty Warriors. You play as this giant, badass, jacked chicken warrior.
What? Chicken attack?
Over the top. It looks like a lot of fun, and it's something different.
Ninja chicken attack?
Like, oh, the games are all the same now. This is weird. I did not have this on my bingo card. Hopefully this shapes up to be something cool. We also got a new look and some gameplay for Star Wars Galactic Racer. Not only is the
I'll be honest, I'm kind of sick of anything and everything related to Star Wars.
in general, but also we got a tease at some pod racer stuff. We got to see what I was pretty sure was Sabalda's pod racer, as well as Ben Quadinaros, which is just you love to see. But for me, your resident favorite, insufferable Metal Gear Solid fan. A lot of fans are predicting this, and it is true. Metal Gear Solid is dropping, and it is going to feature Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid Peace.
Watching stuff like this definitely
What color?
shows me that I need to step up my video game.
Along with that, they announced
Sorry.
Master Collection Volume 1 is
Bad joke there as well. I need to step up on how I make videos.
3, which is great. But for this, the Master Collection Volume 2, it is a big deal because Metal Gear Solid 4 is finally out on PS3 Jam, and I'm really, really excited for more people to finally play it. I know it's the weird one in the franchise, but it's got a special spot in my heart. So this is cool, and it's coming out this year. Also, they did a little crossover. Konami's also publishing a game called Darwin's Paradox. We've known about this for a while. Adventure game. I really like it. We got a new trailer, as well as there is a demo. Also, Konami did not stop. There is Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Good ass name for a full-on new Castlevania adventure.
Yep, that's coming out
But it's from the people
really soon too.
of Empire/Motion Community
Actually, there's a whole lot of Castlevania games coming out.
to be working on this type of game. And I have high hopes for it. Also, they teased an old Trevor Belmont, and that's pretty cool too. We also got a full reveal of Silent Hill Townfall, which is the Annapurna co-published Silent Hill game. This is a new character in a new spooky town, and it's first person, but it still feels like very.
That's weird.
So I'm curious to see if they're going more for like a low-key first person, kind of like the early stages of Resident Evil 7. Good survival horror stuff. Visually, sound effects wise, all this looks on point.
That looks really cool, graphically.
Also the monsters. You need to see more of them. Are they gross? That's important. Konami also revealed a new JRPG called Rev Noir or Rev Noir, and they're just showing that they're back, man. Konami decided like they woke up and they're like, let's make money again. Let's make video games again. So far, so good, but I'm hoping they keep the streak going. As someone who's paid attention to gaming news for a long time, if you're like me, you know it's
Oh.
New year 2026. Everybody's going to try and talk to you about learning a new skill, trying a new plays like an oceans. All you got to do is put screen on here again. New John Wick game. I know we had John Wick.
Ooh, yeah, I saw
Full on.
the John Wick thing, and I was kind of excited for it, honestly.
Where you're playing as John Wick. Keanu Reeves' likeness, voice,
Huh.
the whole 9 yards is here.
More Johnny Silverhand.
Super interactive. The folks behind the new Hellraiser was looking great. Also things like Space Marine 2. They get it. I really think they do. And I'm excited to see how this goes. Apparently they're working closely in tandem with like Chad Stahelski and all the people involved with John Wick. And this is great. For me, this is like the shit I want, man. I love John Wick, so I am happy to have something like this.
Yeah, I want more games like this.
I hope they nailed that gung fu feel. But the fact that they're doing it third person, that's a good sign. It's a good start. Also, a new trailer for Marathon. Very cool, very over the top, and they announced that they're doing a
I'm not familiar with this one, to be honest.
February 26th to March 2nd. Also, in terms of PlayStation Plus stuff, Time Crisis is coming to PS Plus. Very cool, personally. I love that. Also,
One of my favorite arcade games.
look at this is still coming in 2026. Where is, just speaking of like weird little quirky games though, where is Little Devil Inside? What the hell happened to that game? Anyway, Marvel Token, Fighting Souls, we got some X-Men gameplay. The game is shaping up to look great. I love the character design for the character art they've been doing. But also
We'll see. I don't know.
is in the game, which is just like an underrated character conceptually, and I think it's cool to see that here. But a big surprise
I'm kind of burnt out on superheroes, to be honest.
the original God of War trilogy. We don't know how. We don't know exactly like how they're going about it, but it has officially been announced that it is currently in
Ah,
the original.
so the God of War games, they are remaking them, and they're censoring absolutely just about everything. So if you're looking for the old stuff that was in the original games, you can basically forget it, from what I have heard.
To help announce it, which I love to see. I just really love the original God of Wars so much. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. What do you guys think? Do you think they're gonna make them all more in line with God of War 2018 and that gameplay style, or do you think maybe?
I think they're gonna censor the crap out of it, and it'll be borderline unplayable.
God of War 3 is a fairly modern game. Do you think they're gonna bring 1 and 2 up to the scale and fidelity and playability of the third? I think these games really needed to be remade. I'm also biased. Like I play them often, and I think they do pretty much hold up. But yeah,
I agree.
That's the thing.
They don't need a remake.
God of War: Sons of Sparta. This is Kratos and his brother Kratos. Shout out to my people who played the PS Vita version of God of War. This is from Mega Cat Studios.
Which was
It's a
nobody.
little adventure where it's like Kratos Origins. Kratos, different art style, different thing. I'm just happy to play some cool Greek Spartan things. And they shadow dropped it. It's out now, so I'm downloading it. And I downloaded it last night after the event, and I gotta play it this weekend. I hope it's good, but I have no idea. Big event, a lot of news, but not all the news.
That one wouldn't be for me,
Also got
honestly.
High Guard.
Not a. I didn't really look like that interesting.
Have laid off a significant portion of their team. A lot of those team members have
I talked about this earlier.
but also some of their statements suggesting that they were working on content that's never going to be seen. So we don't know what the state of High Guard really is right now.
Talked about this one earlier.
Put out that sounds like it's still going to be a game, but after that amount of layoffs, it seems like that's going to continue to be a thing. Especially player counts have ended up. Look, I think this is really interesting because like
This is essentially a dead game. I would get out now and stop playing it, and I would have the developers just work on something more productive.
but these layoffs suggest that might be a little easier said than done. I didn't expect
This map is huge.
because like unlike Concord, I think High Guard has some redeeming elements, but like I said before you buy, it's not good enough because the market is just so crowded with other types of live service shooters, and it seems like
That too.
might now fall victim. Also, in some wild quick news, Diablo 2 got like a new playable class. Now it's for Diablo 2 Resurrected, and it's the Warlock class.
What?
Really excited about this. It's interesting to see that. Like, I feel like Blizzard has been making some cool decisions lately. I'm curious to see. I think this will
After all this time, now they make new content for it?
game releases this week. There's quite a bit. First of all, they dropped Dino Crisis 1 and 2 on Steam. It's been a thing for a while. You can get it on GOG, but that's cool. Also, Eugenics released. This is a big deal because it's from the guy behind the Bison basic, so it's got that quirky art style.
I did not do a video on this one, but I did put it in my release article on X. I just didn't have a whole lot of information to go off of when I wrote it, so I just kind of put in the description about it and the release date.
This is a weird one about cats and RPG systems. I put a couple of hours into it so far on Steam Deck, and I am digging it. But
I have seen some gameplay, and it looks a lot like Cult of the Lamb.
On our podcast, Friends Per Second, that's coming out this weekend if you guys want to hear that. Also releasing this week, Reanimal, which we did it before you buy for. I really enjoyed the game. It's very short, so weigh the handful of hours versus the price tag. It's like Little Nightmares, their previous games. They're short but incredibly entertaining. This one is grosser, meaner, cooler, and I enjoyed.
We kind of watched a thing about this one too.
We did a video on High on Life 2. Falcon and Eric
I did not talk about this one
to enjoy it, and I wasn't going to play it, but after seeing the skateboard,
beyond just like mentioning
I
it.
feel like I got to play that. I feel like that's made
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
before you buy for that. That is linked in the description down below if you're looking to get a little Souls-like action, as well as Romeo is a Den, the newest game from Grasshopper manufacturer and Suda51.
I was curious about this one too. I kind of want to look more into it.
Flawed. The gameplay is sometimes chopped up and not super fulfilling. The presentation, the story, some people will be able to forget that stuff because just the creativity on display here is pretty.
Honestly, if they can patch it, it wouldn't be that bad.
A lot last week. So let me know what you're currently playing. We always do a pinned comment. Sometimes it's a sponsored pinned comment, but like I always say, sorry to be a broken record. Reply to that. Let us know what you're currently playing. New or old.
Okay, so he's just kind of doing his outro there, so there's not really anything else there.
Thank you guys for being here. I've yapped enough today.
Alright. So that was pretty cool. It was good to actually see what was going on. That was pretty much everything that's going on with the PlayStation State of Play. What the hell? Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that comment. That was kind of gross, dude. I mean, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to? That's just kind of gross, dude. Okay. Alright, and that's pretty much all I had for game updates today. Let me get the game running. So let me switch the window. All right. Let's see, where are you? There you are. See if I can get the game working today, because it's been kind of touchy. Ooh, nice. Well, maybe it'll play. It's acting like it wants to. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's continue where we left off. Oh, first I need to switch this over. Switch my stream info over to there we go. Ooh, new war gear. Let's go have some. Firepower of 3. Okay, so maybe we'll do that this one. And I don't get a sword? What? Alright then. I better find something badass down there. Here we go. What? Whoa, Nikes. Oi. This is trippy as heck, man. Oh, finally. That sucked. I thought I was gonna die. I don't find that fun at all. Oh, give me this. Alright, I'm trying to figure out. There we go, okay. Okay, cool. I've remembered how to do it now. Sweet. Got him. Haha. I hate that I have to be on one specific side in order to actually destroy it. Okay. Data slate. Okay. What's this thing? Oh, it's a beacon that I have to set up. Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, that sucks. It's shot out of the sky. Ah! Well, that was unplanned. I hope that's a good thing. I'm looking for data pads right now. That's what I was looking for, right there. Oh, geez. That thing was trippy. It's a long data slate. All right. Moving on, moving on. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I thought I still had my jetpack. That's crap. This guy is creepy, man. As I say, I know he's not talking to me because I was pretty on point there. No, no, it does not. Yeah. Alright, so if that's the way I'm supposed to go, then this is the way I am going to go, because I want to explore a bit. Plus, I was kind of hoping that destroying stuff would, yeah, actually, grenades is good. I like grenades. Alright, now we can move on. Alright. Literally expecting me to do work with a hand tied behind my back. That one takes forever to regenerate. I don't like that one very much. Sheesh. That is the plan. That was weird. Oh, there it is. I thought it was just something that was supposed to happen automatically. $10 to decontaminate? We'll stick with this one for now. Let's see what's up. If I die, then we'll come back and grab the melter rifle once I restart. I'm just curious about the hammer, so we'll switch out for the hammer for now. Excuse me. Sweet. Yeah, these boys do be kind of thick and heavy with all that metal. Man, he just loves beheading dudes with his bare hands. Sheesh. He just keeps destroying eyeballs all the time. I was just saying, why are you asking me? I have just as much of an idea as you do, dude. Jeez Louise. Die. That kind of sucked. I won't lie. I was not a fan of that. Not even a little bit. Oh, again, I thought it was automatic. You can see a fight going on in the distance there. Healing pack, yes please. For the record, I am sick of the hammer now. I won't lie, that hammer is powerful, it's just too slow. Oh, yes. I love this bitch. This is my favorite gun. Nah. I'm good. I don't need that. Excuse me. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, yes. Sword is always better than a knife. Always, always. That's creepy. Why is he gotta say it like, I see you? Why is he gotta be all weird about it? Alright, we're moving on through. I think this is the longest mission so far. Yeah, I'm taking advantage of them all being stuck still. Oh, crap. Oh, jeez. Oh, crap. I'm trying. Oh, dang. He kind of deserved that. How does that dude have torches on his armor? It's just weird. Oh boy. Oh man. And there are a lot. Ah, that's what I get for charging ahead. I cannot reload this gun. I wish I could. Because I love this gun. This is a lot. Oh, that's a big one. Who is that guy? And where can I get armor like that? That is some sexy guns. Woohoo! Holy smokes! Oh, jeez. Sweet. Alright, let's... No. Okay. Fine. Let's go. Oh shit. Oh jeez. Gee. Yes. Okay, there's nothing really here. Come on, you big heavy bitch. I may as well grab some new ammo while I'm waiting for that big heavy bitch. Nice. He should have been the one to do it in the first place. The dude's got no hand. How is he able to do that? Interesting. Tis very, very interesting. Really? I gotta fight this jackass again? Oh, what the hell? Ugh. Speaking of wasting, I'm out. I can't. It won't let me reload. See? Oh, this sucks. These graphics are really good. These cutscenes are something else, man. Pretty freaking dope. Oh, the big man. Reach. Nice. And now maybe at my leisure, if this story is over, I'll at my leisure I'll do some online stuff next. At a later date. Because I have not done the multiplayer for this game just yet. I wanted to play through the story first. But whether or not this is the end of the game, this once we finish through these last cutscenes, this will be the end of the stream. The sync up between lips and voice seem to be a little funky right now. I remember hearing that name earlier in the game. Very cool. Very, very cool. I do appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. I'll have some more, hopefully better news game news to share to you guys tomorrow. It'd be about the same time again, 8 o'clock.